All right, guys, welcome to another series here, the second series of the day, between probably the favorite of the entire qualifications here, Jordan, playing in the red as the Teutons, and his opponent is going to be Sebastian, the strongest Uruguayan player here, playing in yellow as the Franks. Going to be a very fun series. Obviously, when we have such a favorite here in terms of Jordan, you might think, you might write off the opponent, but Sebastian's been very, very impressive. He 3-0'd the Gao in the last series, and he's a very aggressive player. What do you think about the matchup, Nili, in Franks versus Teutons, as well as the players here?
I'm impressed by Jordan in so many ways. We had multiple training sessions with GL, obviously, and he is so good at asking questions and preparing himself for upcoming stuff. Yesterday, he played Hanson at Akama, and we talked about that the full day before. He also had a Meso Mirror on Acclivity, we talked about that before. One of the other things was Teutons against Franks on Arabia. So
wow.
I can just say that Jordan will have a really good idea how he wants to play this.
Okay, preparation was really good. He's predicting the matchups very well, is what we're getting out of that, which is the sign of a very experienced player. Respected that from Jordan. And Teutons, I would say, is like, it's a really good civ against Cav civs. It's actually underrated how strong it is versus Cav civs, I would say. Maybe underrated is the wrong word. Oh, a hole though. Hold on.
Jordan knew about that one. He ran through it earlier.
He prepared about the hole yesterday. Apparently, no, he obviously saw. He obviously saw the hole, and now we'll patch it up. Has the spear there as well.
Killed one spearman. Jordan invested a lot into walling here. Holy moly. Okay.
A lot of early walls, yeah. But I mean, here's my take on walls, man. I feel like if you wall but you make 0 military, it's actually not good in Empire Wars because you lose all the map. But if you full wall but you also have some military to force your opponent to then full wall, it ends up being pretty good to full wall early to make sure no damage comes through. And now he's going to switch to an archery range behind it as well. Interesting.
If you go for the archery range, then I think it could have been earlier. Right? Before all the walls. I thought the moment he walled that heavily, it felt like he wanted to play stable only. But now going for the archery range regardless. Interesting choice.
I have to agree with that. Yeah, I think that's the trade-off, right? It's like if you go for the range, you don't need the wall because you have the defensive army. But then again, Sebastian could just go into, like, he could default into what a lot of people mess up with, which is just like attacks the walls carelessly and then might lose his army to skirmish or transition. So there is that surprise factor. We'll see what Sebastian goes for. It looks like he's going back for the time being. He's also focusing on walling up his own base right now. But getting forging on scouts, interesting decision there from Sebastian.
I'm really surprised. But against an already fully walled opponent? Is he thinking he's floating too much food? Because he isn't. I'm not really surprised by that.
I think it's a concept before you click Castle Age, honestly. Unless you're severely lacking gold or anything crazy like that. But he will get some value out of the army that he's got back home. He's actually thinning those scouts quite nicely. Jordan obviously did pick off a villager, so he's getting some compensation there. A lot of berries going idle at the same time. Sebastian's early game economy not looking too hot in game 1 here, I gotta be honest.
By the way, we didn't do any predictions, right? Going into game 1. What do you think? What will be the end of the set?
I'm gonna go at a very weird prediction. I actually think that Sebastian is gonna win the series, but I think it's gonna be a 4-2 Sebastian. I actually think Sebastian's crazy. I think he's a really strong player, and I think while Jordan is the favorite on paper, for some reason I feel like Sebastian's aggressive playstyle suits Empire Wars very nicely.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's bold though. If I'm wrong, I won't be too surprised.
Okay, that's honestly not something I would not have expected. I will go with the 4-1 for Jordan.
Okay.
I think he really wants it and he put a lot of heart into it.
Yeah. Yeah, you obviously know his side of preparation a lot more. I don't know, there's something about Jordan's playstyle for Empire Wars that's maybe he's cleaned it up, but it seemed like he often gives up the map control too easily, and for some reason these newer players are going for all kinds of forward castles and stuff like that, so it feels like some punishment like that could come in pretty strong, which is what I'd be afraid of for Jordan. But in this case, game 1 here looking pretty smooth for him. He's at the Castle Age way quicker than Sebastian right off the bat here, and he's looking to really go for some strong Castle Age plays here. He even sold his stone, or no, he made a tower. Okay, he made a tower.
And now has 2 villagers on stone. And was that tower really needed after he built the archer range? Feels like Jordan plays kind of, I don't want to say scared, let's call it safe.
There's an idea, like there's a concept of playing overly safe though, and I hate playing overly safe. I think it's I think being greedy is really good, and I think it's one of the reasons why players like Viper find so much success, because they find advantages without putting themselves in some crazy all-ins by just greeding a little bit. But in this case, Jordan, he's playing 100% safe. He can take 0 damage early game right now, but if the game transitions to like a standard mid game, I mean, Sebastian might be in a perfectly fine position, you know?
A question that I've gotten unreasonably often over the last month, I would think. Apparently some other Age of Empires personalities often call Jordan too passive. What is your take on that?
Is that me that calls him too passive?
I don't know. I only had like at least 3 people coming to my stream and saying others say Jordan is too passive. Nili, what do you think? And I also have seen people come to Jordan's stream and ask him the same question.
It's I don't know. Like I don't know if passive is the right word. I would say, like, in my experience with Jordan, he always plays overly defensive against me. But I don't think defensive is the same as passive, because passive is a mistake, defense is not a mistake, right? I think he plays defensive. I don't think he's passive.
Mind blown.
Some wisdom coming in from.
Passive is not a mistake. Defensive. Okay.
I do think he plays defensive, but like I said, I don't think that's a mistake. So if you want to paint him in a negative light, why is he playing so passive? I don't think that's true. He does attack when he's got the window, but he chooses to have a defensive playstyle often, and yeah, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
Okay, so every time my girlfriend says, "Wow, you're defensive," I say that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, you say, just wait till I get the castle age, I'll have the advantage, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's good responses to aggressive play like that. Because your girlfriend's asking that, but she's not fully walled back home, so you know there is chances to counterattack there, Nili. But you're learning.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
So Monastery now by Sebastian wants to deal with the knights that way. Not your typical answer to TaToH knights. At least conversion will be a bit slower, but obviously if you are sitting behind walls, still scares the knights away.
So one of those things is like some people just make 0 monks versus Teutons just because of that conversion bonus, but like yeah, monks are still decent, like you said, from behind walls especially. The one thing I don't like though, Sebastian, he's cramming himself very heavily now. Second TC coming up within those very tight walls. You want to expand the base if you can in Castle Age. This is the time where you want to secure some extra resources. But he does have the chance to put some pressure. Defensive Magano from Jordan also acting as a nice defense behind those walls. Pretty much forces any aggression back from Sebastian.
Yeah, I actually watched Sebastian stream the other day, and he is an incredibly fast player as well. Crazy APM, spams his groups as well. Actually talked a bit with MBL about him, and MBL felt like Sebastian is playing a bit too hectic and doesn't allow himself to give himself time to make like strategic decisions, plan out the game. So I would assume lots of units, maybe a bit of what we would have seen from Dark, right? Macro, micro on point, but decision making maybe more on the side of an experienced player like Jordan.
I think that reminds me a lot of how I used to play myself as well. I think it's so natural when you're a young player and you're looking to improve very quickly. You often fall into the trap of playing too quickly, and the reason why you fall in that trap, in my opinion, is that you beat players at 2K2, 2K3 by outplaying them. But when you get to 2K5, 2K6, they don't die to timing attacks. They don't die to getting outplayed by micro, if that makes sense. So you kind of have to rethink your playstyle once you get to this level. However, in Empire Wars, it does suit the fast player and the aggressive player, in my opinion. So we'll see how that plays out on this particular game mode here.
Third town center now next to the stone for our Frank player. I see a lot of big hills in the center of the map. Could be coming in quite handy there. Did not expand and secure any of his extra golds at the site. Maybe some area where Jordan could raid later on. Tries to go for some knight harassment. Fight in the center now.
Yeah, so you can continue talking and fixing the title real quick.
Okay,
Of course, you say nothing.
Scared away.
Okay.
Well, I thought if I wanted to make something like, oh, by the way, if you didn't follow Hera's channel yet, that always supports him and costs you nothing. And if you want to support him more, maybe drop a subscription.
Friendly reminder. I like that. I like that, Nili. Yeah.
Did you know that Hera now has a second YouTube channel? Hera Gameplay.
Are you subscribed to that, Nili?
Yes. I even got
Good,
a video recommended today.
Wow, huge. Because I'm still trying to get Viper to subscribe to my main channel. He's actually reviewing videos from my main channel. He's not subscribing to it, so I'm not sure what to do about Viper.
What? He's reviewing your videos, but not subscribing?
He reacted to a video and he's not subscribed.
Okay.
Yeah. I was so mad I unsubscribed from his channel. I'm just kidding.
Ooh.
I'm not that petty. But we're still working on that though, behind the scenes.
Viper says he is subscribed apparently.
Really? Because I've been stalking the pro. Because I have the stats there, but I
maybe just debated. You know that the Viper 1337 is not GL the Viper.
Wait, what?
The Viper Slayer 1337 is not the Viper.
I know that's not the Viper.
Okay.
Thanks for clearing it up, bro. Instant conversion on the front though. Massive battles here. I feel like TaToH Knights should be definitely stronger in these exchanges.
Upgrades 1-2 against only 2 armor, so attacks evens out. So actually it's completely even when it comes to the damage output. Jordan now gets the advantage of TaToH's spec by having the +1 attack.
Yeah, and it seemed like he had maybe more knights there. It was hard to tell. Maybe the monks really swayed the battle with the conversions there. Jordan definitely takes a pretty big fight there. It's not a game-ending battle just yet, though, because Jordan doesn't have follow-up behind it. He just takes a good fight. The follow-up would be, of course, adding in another stable.
13 on gold, while there's 46 farmers. I think I would really like to see...
Yeah.
Some more on gold there. Not really sure how that happened. Also, he's expanding to the right-hand side. Going for that gold without a town center. Now goes into pikemen.
You know why he's not going for a town center? I imagine it's because he wants to go for a castle very soon. Either defensively or offensively. Castles have just been a really big factor in these games for some reason. I don't know why, but they've just been a really big factor on Empire Wars so far.
Jordan now goes for pikemen. Does he not know that Sebastian built his town center next to the stone? He does know about the town center. This feels like a wrong switch. It's guaranteed that X-Men can be on the field.
And pikemen is actually too slow. Like you'd rather have 3 more knights on the field, like an extra stable 3 more knights than pikemen. Because pikemen are not going to be coming up before the castle comes down. Here's the forward castle we were talking about here. Scout on the monk, big play from Sebastian. He even takes the hill engagement. Jordan's on the back foot here, that forward castle. And making the stakes very high all of a sudden.
2 barracks only. Now the third one. Town center at the front, likely to fall. And Jordan rethinks his options, builds the town center at the right-hand side now. But, well, close to half the knight numbers. Sebastian in a nice spot.
And Jordan actually made the town center on the right-hand side, so forget everything I said about that. He made the TC after all, but...
well, could have been a reaction also, because he knew that he couldn't get his dream castle in the center.
True. Yeah, he sees that the castle's gone, so he might as well make a town center instead. Who knows there. He does have 1 relic and has the pikeman switch now, so his late game is getting set up pretty decently. We see the TaToH monk there. Oh, the TaToH resistant conversion, but Sebastian gets the conversion in the end anyways.
X-Men now being added. We already have 1 attack upgrade. Really nice spot. Gold exposed there at the front. Look at that. Knight and Scout at the right-hand side. Getting some control as well. Sebastian, full control. Not far away from affording a second castle.
Yeah, the big thing here is that forget about Imp right now for Sebastian. However, Jordan can go up to Imp. And he can make a defensive castle soon himself. There's a defensive castle. And he could just save up to Imp and make pikemen to defend. While counterattacking with knights. I think Jordan's doing the exact right thing right now. But Sebastian's reading the game well, and he's going to go ahead and chase those knights back home and try to defend them. Yeah, Jordan's up to Imp. Look at that. That's the big plan.
And now something weird is actually happening that we never talk about. More line of sight for those Frank knights. Might have given him the option to scout that side attack. Jordan knights were missing, and those knights are chasing, but still lots of villager killed.
Yeah, the really good raid from Jordan there. And this is the exact right thing he should have done. Like, literally perfect play from Jordan from a theory position, because you don't need the knights to defend. You've got the defensive castle and the pikemen. And so knights counterattacking is literally perfect. He will lose some of those now because, of course, husbandry for Franks means he can chase those down. But still a worth it a raid for Jordan. He's up 30 vills now, and he's up to Imperial Age. But a castle on the right-hand side for Sebastian. He's looking to really push his advantage in Castle Age as much as he can do, at least.
Oh, and Jordan, look at that. Even armor for archers. He is thinking about hand cannoneers, apparently.
Makes sense. How about your hand cannoneer is the composition you want in this matchup? Makes sense. You actually don't want to... It's weird, because Cav versus Cav civs, usually you don't want to go Cav. It's kind of weird in Imperial Age. You want to play halberdier opening into hand cannoneer bomber cannon, usually.
More knights getting chased down, and Jordan trades off all his knights before he reaches Imp. Castle, 500 HP, getting attacked there. Jordan pulls his army away. Oh, this is getting intense. Population lead, close to non-existing anymore.
Yeah, I honestly think that Jordan did a beautiful job holding this, and come Imperial Age, he should be in a great position because the trebuchets will come out very safe behind the walls. He's gonna have the access to the right units as well. And while Sebastian's taking a really good fight there near his castle, he's gonna be hard pressed to find some damage, or else he's not gonna be able to last until very long in this game, I think.
Tricky. Very likely that he will lose his 2 castles there. Villagers probably should be pulled away from that one. Get some more cancellation. Yeah, moves away. And then you have to question, did he overproduce knights now?
It feels like he forgot about Imperial Age being a factor, or maybe he just didn't think that Jordan would be so fast to get to Imperial Age. Sebastian's best play from now is to go back home, stabilize all those raids that are kind of bothering him, and then look to raid the sides of Jordan's base, which are actually very exposed, by the way. He needs to buy as much time as possible, but he needs to not be able to. He needs to not push anymore. You can't push it against trebuchets. So raid the sides, buy the time that you need, and then look to Imperial Age yourself.
More knights, more axemen being added. He's continuing in Castle Age, and this is kind of what we predicted. Sebastian, the speed, the army composition, the pressure, and then questionable choices here in deciding to continue to play long Castle Age against someone that already has a pike castle defense.
Yep. There's literally zero chance here to do any damage in Castle Age. He should never, like, if he just takes the time to think about it for a second here, he would realize that there's nothing to do in Castle Age and he needs Imperial Age. He is sniping the trebs though with the accent. That's a really good play from him. We'll be able to find both those trebuchets and just back out now.
Castles are falling. Nice snipe there. Bought himself a bit of time repairing that castle. Obviously cheaper for Franks as well. Wouldn't mind masonry, but obviously puts you further away from Imperial Age as well. 1 relic for each player. And Sebastian keeps on queuing more axemen. Way more villagers. I'm surprised that he's not trying to force the issue and get Imp quicker.
Maybe he thinks that, okay, now he's saving up to Imp. He sees all the castles that Jordan's went for. The thing is, this matchup in Imp, I feel like, doesn't really get easier for Franks. I feel like Franks do get a window in Castle Age where they can win, but in Imperial Age, Teutons are the stronger civ. Why? Because they've got better halberdier on halberdier action. Hand cannoneer and bomber cannon will be the same for both players, but then crenellation for Teutons makes their castles very strong on defense. So Teuton late game is actually much stronger than Frank late game in this matchup, in my opinion.
Why are we not talking about Teutonic Knights? Against Knights and X-Men? It's one unit that counters both.
No, but hand cannoneer come out too well, I think. Like, theoretically, Teutonic Knights could work only if you get them as a momentum, but hand cannoneer come out and just shred them too much, I think. So
okay.
They're not very impactful in the matchup.
Just thought like 8 Teutonic Knights, raiding, some pressure through the center. Could have worked out really well.
Yeah, it's not like right now. It's not bad. If Jordan wants to go for a few Teutonic Knights, it actually is not that troll. We often think that unit's very troll, but it's actually not too bad right now if he wants to go for it. But it just doesn't scale too well. I think that's the big problem.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I didn't want to see like elite Teutonic Knights there.
Just a few, yeah. Could be solid. Jordan's now moving out with some pikemen and some hand cannoneer, also bringing the trebs forward. One thing I love about being on defense here is like you clear the castles and then your push is already like set up. You know, you have the trebs already, and then you have all the army that you used on defense. So now Jordan goes from defending to a very heavy offensive push.
So he is not passive; he was just defensive.
Exactly. You see, that's the big difference, man. That's the big difference, man.
I'm learning.
Whoever was saying he's a passive player, I highly disagree. He's just he's just a defensive one. He has a massive advantage from playing defensive. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say calling him defensive is a passive-aggressive statement?
This is getting all kinds of philosophical arguments now. I don't know, man.
Jordan has a
I'd like to
crazy
hear
army.
Jordan's opinion, maybe in the interview. Yeah, he's got a massive army here. I'm afraid if we tell him that, he might actually suddenly get aggressive on us though, Nili. So I'm not too sure.
Well, it's easy for me to say you said it.
That is true. The good defense from you as well there. Cavalier, by the way. Cavalier from Sebastian. Really? We're going Cavalier?
Against that amount of halberdiers, already nicely tagged.
And they're not that good versus hand cannoneers either, mind you, so... Feels like the Cavalier are doing nothing here. You can't really raid because there's 3 castles with Bodkin Chemistry. Siege Engineer coming in now for Jordan. As I'm saying, man, the 2 in late game is extremely solid. We're even seeing Jordan expand on the left-hand side now, looking for more stone. Some beautiful play from Jordan in terms of macro right now. And this is the big difference with the experience, with the strong macro play here. Jordan, that's what he's known for, man. That's his biggest strength.
Yeah, lovely. Very methodical here. More siege workshops. Barracks at the front as well. I wouldn't mind to see some more archery ranges added there as well. It's not unlikely that Sebastian will try to muscle up one major fight and then try to clear up Jordan from this hill. So having shorter reinforcement could really help out Jordan to hold this.
Yeah. I love forward production buildings. I think it's the best way to push advantage and to not throw the game, because when you have forward production building, your opponent, even if you take a bad fight, your opponent has to deal with your reinforcements right away, and to push back he needs to clear those buildings or else it becomes awkward. So Jordan, what he's doing right now is a very smart way to never throw this game.
I absolutely love it. Cavaliers now showing themselves. Jordan would have loved to see some more outposts actually, to know what's up. Oh, Halberdiers suiciding themselves a bit. Oh, not the biggest fan of this for Jordan. Now the major fight.
The gunners are extremely strong on that hill. Sebastian does take the hill with his Cavalier here. He's going for a big engagement. The Halberdier getting thinned out, but so are the Cavalier. Hand Cannoneer still tight. Group of 35 of them right now. Forced to run back though.
Yeah, but that's an army that Jordan can replace. As you can see, look at his massive queue there as well with Halberdiers and Sebastian. I don't really think that's an army he will be able to muscle up 2 or 3 more times.
No, forget about it. And if you really think about it, Jordan only lost Halberdier in that engagement. Barely lost any hand cannoneer. Yet to lose a single trebuchet. He's only losing trash and has lost 1 treb there at the end. So Jordan totally happy just to continue playing from this position. He even has a castle on the right hand side securing that gold now. Something that always has to be mentioned on Arabia is how you control the map, especially come late game.
Not a great queue for Jordan though. Look at that. 4 Halberdiers, 1 scout, 1 bombard cannon in the queue. Bit of a miss macro. Lacking some gold. Maybe could have used the market a bit more. But still, as you mentioned, the hand cannoneer numbers not broken. Yeah.
It's such a strong unit in cavalry matchups, I feel. It just does everything you want. It has high damage. It only dies to arbalest usually, or like heavy cav archer, but those aren't really good options right now. And so hand cannoneer ends up being the best backline unit. Halberdier in front, of course, just to defend it versus cavalry. And yeah, beautiful push from Jordan right down the center. Sebastian, his days are numbered at this point.
No, not really sure what options he could go for. Maybe could have waited a bit longer, skip on all the X-Men and try to overwhelm with Paladin numbers. And Cannoneers now diving in pretty deep. Oh, misstep by Jordan. Maybe a chance to take this one out, but it just feels like Cavalier numbers are not enough.
The Halberdier, think of it like the Halberdier are getting insane trades every single fight. Look at the Cavalier going down. Jordan actually wins that last fight and Sebastian taps out. 1-0 for Jordan. My prediction not looking too hot right off the bat, but of course Jordan, I mean, an incredibly strong player. I was going for the wacky prediction here, but I'm still sticking by it.
And I think if we had like a map pool of Habub, Atacama, Arabia, and more of those wild maps, your prediction becomes better than a map pool that has maps like the Bull, Enclosed, Shoals, where we feel like very strategic, long games where it comes more down to army composition and calm, methodical plays.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. That's a very fair point. GG nonetheless, though. Jordan takes a nice little Arabia win there. Also, it must be noted, Teutons are probably not a highly contested civilization, so winning with a very quote-unquote weak civilization is a great way to start off a series, something that everyone aims to go for, pretty much.
Indeed, late pick for Jordan. You can see pick 6.5. Against Franks, pick 1.5. Holy moly.
Yep. It's a really big it's a really big difference there. Home master Sebastian as well. We can see he's got the Bull, Frigid Lake, and Acclivity, so he's picking more or less aggressive maps here. Jordan going Outcrop, Shoals, and Northern Isles, more or less hybrid or defensive maps, or more like boomy maps, which is interesting to see the difference of styles there for the two players. We are seeing Khmer versus Huns right now on Frigid Lake, hopping into the game right now.
Well, what will be the openings? Jordan opens with Archer range, same goes for Sebastian, and pretty good mill for farms for Sebastian, and Jordan doesn't care. He can farm everywhere.
Yeah, and good thing for him because his mill was not too good. I mean, it was okay, but it was on the front, so it was not going to be the most effective farming spots. But of course, Khmer, he can put them wherever he wants. Pretty easy. Oh, sorry. Sebastian actually had the front mill. That was my bad. Jordan does have the back mill. I don't really like Jordan. I don't like Sebastian's mill, actually. It's on the front. It's very risky to farm around that. My point stands, actually, after all.
Kind of forces you into playing at least a second archer range, if not trying to go for stable and then play something after that. Sends more villagers on gold, so either will go for second archer range or the dock there. I don't think he will go for stable.
Yep, and something to consider as well is that the map is actually quite easy to wall once you scout it out. Like, there's not a lot to wall, but it's just hard to wall early because you need to scout it out, and before you do that, you don't really know how your map even looks like. So both players have a pretty easy wall, but I imagine we're still going to see an aggressive opening here just because you don't have time to scout it all out. Sebastian looking for the first punch with a spear, an archer, and a scout here. Jordan has 2 archers to defend, though.
But no scout around. A bit of a misstep there. Jordan a bit out of position and will lose quite some HP. Good opening for Sebastian.
Yep. And will he continue to snowball this as well?
Ooh. Now the stable won't be that great. Huh.
Wow, 2 archers down. This is looking really good for Sebastian now.
Nice aggression for sure, and double stable or double archer range won't be punished that much because if you lose all your archers, you can't snipe the spearman. This is a really good opening for our Uruguayan. How do you say
Uruguayan.
that?
Yeah, Uruguayan. I asked my chat the other day. It's not Uruguayan, it's Uruguayan. Which
Uruguayan.
Is,
okay.
Yeah, interesting. Jordan now, he's hard pressed to get some skirmishers out or something because going archers at this point just doesn't really make sense. You've lost the first couple here. So skirmishers is going to be the transition for him, but it's going to be obviously a slow transition to get there. Sebastian with a ton of pressure here early on, sending another spear forward, rather.
Scout's losing quite some HP. Gets the house wall up, but only 30 HP on the one. Will be tricky. Archer's still dancing.
Yeah, even so, if Sebastian gets cleared up now, it's fine. He did enough damage here. He's done just so much work with those archers. Killing a villager now, killing a ton of scouts and skirms. Those 4 archers, man, they just can't die.
KD 11-2!
That's what I'm saying, man. Sebastian out of the opening, he's so strong with it. Killing another scout with a spear as well.
It just feels like one scout out of position, and Jordan was struggling so much. 5-minute game!
5-minute game against Jordan. Wow.
I had some 5-minute games against Jordan as well, but I never won. So that is pretty sick by Sebastian. Like, we can just maybe scroll back a bit, and I think something like 1 minute 50, 2 minutes. That's the big difference, right? You barely have army out on the field, and then it's 3-4 units combined, while Jordan has a scout on the other side.
And I just want to show as well, like, once Sebastian got the momentum with his army as well, when he had those 4 archers on the front around 3 minutes 45 seconds, Jordan tried to then go into panic and full wall, but Sebastian, a lot of players back up at this point. Sebastian kept going forward. You don't give your opponent a chance to react. That's how you play these games. A lot of players back up and think, oh, I killed one villa, got a nice trade, I'll just go back and wait. But Sebastian wants to end the game, and he actually manages to find even more trades. Gives Jordan 0 time to recover. Beautiful play there from him, honestly. And Khmer once again losing. Weren't you the guy that said you only see Khmer losing on this map?
I'm someone who refrains from saying something like always.
Yeah, sure.
And never. I think that's the most incorrectly used terms. But no, I think Khmer are really strong here.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Dave statement.
Maybe it's a Dave statement. I don't know. I can't remember who I was talking to. Maybe it was Dave in my chat.
Well, it doesn't sound right, so it could easily be a Dave statement, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Sounds like a wrong statement. Must have been Dave. Fair enough. Well, listen, Jordan, he clearly valued Khmer very highly, picking them second and losing now. So the draft all of a sudden kind of back to being even here. If we just take a look at what the civs that the players have available. But yeah, 1-1 now. I mean, think about it from Sebastian's point of view. If you're looking to get back into a series, that's the game you need to come back after losing game 1.
Yeah, and that has to be a confident boost. Now we are back to Jordan as well, right? That felt a bit like a repeat of the Ganji set that Jordan lost last weekend, right? Like instant aggression on Frigid Lake, and Jordan couldn't handle it. So is he thinking about that set now again? I hope not.
But anyways, here we got Cumans for Jordan. He actually got one with Sheep sniped, which is something worth mentioning from Sebastian. It's going to be Cumans versus Berbers, a matchup I've seen a few times actually on this map. It seems like the Cuman boom is very hard to punish once again here. Let's see how it plays out this time around though. And Jordan getting fletching on some archers, so it's going to be 2 ranges from him, and then the second town center, kind of like what Dark did in the previous series that we just watched, except on a different map. Berbers though going for a few skirmishers and then the market. Maybe selling stone is on the cards for him.
Difference, obviously, on enclosed, your town center has to be out on the open. It's easy to push those villagers around. Defensive tower was needed. Jordan now, with this town center in the back, and how easily he can wall outcrop, I think he should buy himself a lot of time to get castle edge without a lot of villager losses.
I'm also not familiar with the draft. Is there any bans? I'm really surprised humans are not getting banned out.
There are no snipes. There's one parallel time ban, so it could be the same civ, but there are no snipes. So really strong civilizations here. Maybe a discussion to be had for the main event.
Yeah, we're seeing some of the best civilizations. I think what we had last time for Red Bull in the main event, which is like every round we add an extra ban, was just beautiful. That was perfect. I think.
What genius came up with that rule?
I have no idea, Nili, but when I see him in the qualifiers as a player, in the main event as a player, I will let him know. That's like, wow.
That won't be possible.
It won't be possible.
Although there's an AOE4 qualifier still.
That is true. Best of luck with that. I heard you're going to be grinding for 2 weeks via your Twitter, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, I prepare my sad hippo faces emote.
Yeah, just make sure you're not running into DauT. I heard he's been practicing for that one.
DauT hasn't really been practicing, yeah.
You might as well go for it, man. You get to play both.
And lots of people out there. Capoch, Vinchester, TaToH. Maybe we might see some people play both. Capoch is actually really likely.
Yeah, Capoch is actually he was playing AV4 even for a long time before as well, so he's definitely a favorite to do well there, at least from the AV2 guys.
Pretty crazy.
Jordan playing pretty defensively here. Obviously, we see Sebastian going up to Castle Age here, getting Bloodlines as well. Has only one stable currently. I don't see a second one. So it looks like he might try to play some crossbow opening. No, not many on range units either. So yeah, it's going to be second stable plus siege. So Knights and Siege for him. Jordan picked up. And if there's one thing, Nili, I have to say about this Cuman boom, and the reason I think it's so strong, 2 things. They get cheaper stables, so once you go for the 2TC boom, you can go 3 stables because it's cheap, and then you also have camels available, and those 2 things just, it feels like counters any knight aggression. I don't know about you.
I even have a third thing to offer.
Yeah?
most of the time, if someone has the eco advantage, you try to punish them with the siege push. And against humans, you should be up to Castle Age earlier. But still, most of the time, you both get the siege workshop up at roughly the same time, simply because you can build the siege workshop on the way to Castle Age.
Yeah, 3 defensive options. I'll add a 4th one. Their walls have more HP. Sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't. So a ton of defensive options for humans, despite them also getting off to a massive boom. And Jordan snipes the Vill off Sebastian as it tries to come forward here. So he's going to manage to snipe that Vill and keep himself pretty secure back home. At least delay the push from Sebastian. And as we can see now, Jordan already building up some stables.
Yeah, now the question, do we build the second stable? Yes, we do. So siege workshop delayed. Obviously he knows, okay, I can maybe just defend with knights. Siege workshop is not coming early. And Sebastian, after he sold all the stone, macro slipping a bit if we look at home. Yeah, now starts to farm quite a bit, but that also delays the manganese production. Jordan will be fine here, I believe.
So Sebastian's, I gotta be honest here, he's not playing very well from home. Like his gold is running out. He's very inefficient on the gold. He was late to farm, and it feels like he's not going to even be able to afford very much for this push. He's got 1 mangonel in him and a few knights, and that's about it. Interesting if we're going to see camels or knights from Jordan. Looks like nothing for the time being. Going instead for a monastery to defend early on here.
Scared of the knights. He does have a market, so he knows that his opponent sold the stone. So he just knows, okay, I need to play defensively here.
Which is very natural for a human player anyways. Like, this is why I hate the civilization. It feels like there's literally nothing Sebastian can do differently. Jordan can get to this position 10 out of 10 times. I hate that. As a player looking to win a tournament, obviously, like win the game, if you give your opponent a civilization that can get a winning position 10 out of 10 times, that just feels so wrong. And it's going to be hard for Sebastian to push in here. But he's doing his best with the Mangonel and the Knights, working down that range.
There is one factor, though, that isn't screaming Jordan is winning. He has only 260 more gold to work with. So this
Sebastian is out. Sebastian's expanding to the sides. I guess you can say he's pretty defended because he's attacking. Okay.
No, I mean Jordan is running out of gold.
Yeah, like okay. Jordan's out of gold, but so Sebastian had to run as well, run away from the main base as well to find gold as well.
But he still has the right-hand side gold at his home base while Jordan's is at the front.
I didn't see that. I didn't see the second gold. Okay, I understand now.
Big fight.
Yeah. Conversion comes through, and the camels snipe the Mangonels all too easily, that felt. That was really good for Jordan. I mean, I'm not sure what Sebastian did wrong here. Maybe he needed the monks out earlier. But beautiful defense from Jordan. They're using the monk to get a conversion as well. Very nice. And Jordan now making his way towards the top here, looking for extra gold, as you mentioned, Nili. He's up 10 villagers so far as well.
This feels like a game I would hate Viper for if we looked over it, if I'm in Sebastian's shoes, and tried to analyze what went wrong. Because he would just, like, not look at the fights at all, not the fancy moves I did at the front with my camels, monks, mangles, but only look at the home base. And it felt like Sebastian, so much went wrong there. Like 5 on food, while reaching Castle Age, like 15 villagers on 1 gold spot. I think we needed the second mining camp at the right-hand side. Farm transition was late. And I actually feel the game was lost within the 4 walls of the Bastion.
Yep. That's a really good point, actually. Sometimes it doesn't have... Oh my, that was the fastest conversion I've ever seen from Sebastian. What was that?
Transition? I didn't really know. That was weird.
That was crazy. I mean, Monk converted it for Jordan, and then Sebastian took it right back with his conversion. That was insane. But anyways, yeah, something that doesn't get talked about as well is that macro back home, the builders, and yeah, Sebastian really slipped on that one. He still has some chance as the monks come out. Monks are probably the biggest tool to turn the tide of a game. We'll see what Sebastian is able to do now with some scorpions, knights, and monks on the field. He's down only 8 villas. What's going on with Jordan's idle town center time? 5 minutes of idle TC time for Jordan. Too much, no?
Yeah, should be too much. Sometimes it slips because you feel like you're getting pressured. Invest a lot into military. Double TC early on. Not really sure why that happened. Did he need to sell some food? No, he actually bought some food. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. He looks like he had a lot of farms, so maybe he felt like he needed more camels quickly. Maybe for the upgrades on the camels. It's hard to say for sure, but nonetheless, not the most amount of economy lead for Jordan, but he still has enough economy lead to keep himself comfortably ahead now. Sebastian's added the second TC on the bottom now, looking to develop onto those side minerals.
I would have always bought 100 stone to build a TC between the stone and the gold there for my third TC if I'm Sebastian.
100%.
You cannot afford the production, obviously, but just feels like so much safer of a setup for the long game.
Yeah, and you also just want to get on the third TC quite quickly. The food will come in soon. Big fight on the top side here, but it does feel like Jordan will get the better engagement here. Camels and Knights is a big factor. Cross is behind, dodging the Scorpions. Monk conversion as well for Jordan. Big cleanup here for Jordan, I believe. Yep,
wow, really convincing one. And game 1 was nailed by the back and forth deep decisions. Game 2 and 3 kind of one-sided, and it felt like Sebastian, he didn't have a clear game plan. It felt like he did not play this one before against a human player that opened double archery range and then at the town center.
I don't know, man. I honestly feel like humans are overpowered on this map. Mm-hmm. There's nothing that you can do, at least not with Berbers. The idea the only thing I can imagine working against humans is maybe going for like, I don't know, some early game archers and skirms to contest the map, and then going with a forward castle into unique unit, something like that with a different civ might work. But otherwise, there's really no way to push in onto humans. They have all the right tools to defend, I think.
Yeah, I also believe that humans are incredibly strong here.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
A lot more resources. 3,000 more resources collected for Jordan in such a short amount of time. Ridiculous.
No. But also, as mentioned, Sebastian blocked himself a lot there.
Yeah.
And he could have easily gotten at least 1,000 more resources if he balances eco a bit better. Okay, I just needed to X out stuff, and we're already jumping into Acclivity.
Wow, Jordan is the host.
Yeah, that's how they roll, right? Really like that. And yeah, I'm predicting that we will see a lot of crossbow in this game.
Hop it in right now myself. It's going to be, what's the civ matchup? Ooh,
Mainz against Britons.
Yeah. Hopping right in.
John wants to sleep on time today. Yeah, maybe.
It was way past his bedtime yesterday, man. 16 GMT to start was brutal for Europeans. But you know what, Nili, I actually don't feel bad, bro. We always get the bad time in Asia and North America, so.
Yeah, I also believe that if you're a full-time computer player, you should be able, with 3 or 4 weeks of heads up, to adjust your sleeping schedule for like 2-3 hours.
Yeah, it's definitely not the greatest of asks. Yeah, I like that we're finally. I feel like at a time now we're switching up the time so that everyone gets the fair time. I feel I've had no complaints personally with the last like 5-6 tournaments of playing times personally. I think it's been really good lately.
Yeah, I think it's still very heavily European favored, and just like for Americans it's early, for Asians it's late.
Yeah, it's almost hard to go around that, to be fair. Archery range opening for Sebastian, switching quickly though into a stable. So standard scouts and archer opening for Britons here. Looks like for Jordan it's going to be a mix of archers and skirms with some eagles in the mix as well. 2 barracks, what do you think about that? 2 barracks from him.
2 barracks, feels like he wants to go for the eagles there together with skirms. I don't mind it too much. Interesting that Sebastian is not going for the second archery range, which feels so natural for Britons, but he's going for the stable. And then archer scout. It feels like Briton player has an easier job of dictating the fight than the main player now.
Kiting back towards the hill. Eagles are scary, but if you have the hill bonus with some archers, Sebastian's taking great fights, honestly.
Next scout arrives.
2 more eagles reinforcing as well. It's going to be close. It's going to come down to still some more execution. Look at how Sebastian's running in and out of the skirmisher minimum range. They're beautiful play with the archers, but looks like Jordan. It's so close. Hard to say who's winning these fights.
Eagles with armor are just so crazy good here. And it seems like Jordan is clearing out this one up quite nicely. Is Spearman added even? I'm not sure if that's going to be too efficient against still some archers alive. But Eagles are finding the kill. Sebastian now jumps on it and both basically trade off armies.
Eagles will go down now, and Sebastian, I mean, hard to say who gets the better trades out of these early game fights, but no one's really getting a massive lead here. Maybe a slight lead in terms of military for Sebastian, as Jordan maybe wastes 1 or 2 Eagles too many. And we're seeing the second range come down now as well. 2 ranges with Britons, that's a ton of production. And one thing about Clivity, your gold is always terrible, because they start you with a DauT mining camp. Look at Sebastian's gold here, very inefficient. It's been the story last game, story again this game.
That's actually how Vinchester builds his normal random map mining camps nowadays.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Well, it's good for the first 4 villages. It's the best, but it becomes bad if you go for more than 6.
Yeah. I personally hate it. I just feel like it's like, imagine if you get raided there, you can't quick wall. You know what I mean? You can't wall anything. You're screwed.
Oh, I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, it could make sense.
Think about the mill as well. I've been making my mills with 1 extra space sometimes now as well, because you just want to be able to quick wall versus militia, even at a little bit of less efficiency. Something to think about for sure. Jordan, speaking of efficiency here, throwing that out the window as he sells his stone with the market. But although you lose resource efficiency, you get a small power spike boost. I say small, but it's quite large going up the castle age here. Look at that, already clicked. Big time there.
I call those mills hard mills. He was kind of the first one, at least for me, to talk about it and think about that approach. Scouts, can they get in there? Oh, they're blocking it, and there's barely army left. Those archers will be so good.
Oh, this is huge because Jordan just invested all of his resources into Castle Age. Sebastian playing actually very scared. He needs to be putting a lot of pressure here. Don't let Jordan rewall this. Who cares if we lose 1 or 2 many archers, or 1 or 2 archers? Just get in there.
40 HP.
Quite low on HP. Yep, 30 HP there. Jordan tries to rewall behind it. Might lose a villager. Nope. Manages to secure the walls for the time being. Sebastian behind this up the castle age himself. Still has a couple scouts. Can easily bring those forward. Look at Sebastian on the open maps, Nili. Very aggressive. Very strong. Snipes the villager as well here.
Oh, more stuff is streaming in. And Jordan, maybe he went to castle age a bit too early. Luckily for him, gold at the top. But remember, he sold the stone. Therefore, now is trying to buy himself stone back to build the tower next to the gold. Interesting placement, I think. Crossbows can still harass at the left-hand side.
Oh, Britain crossbows, absolutely. That tower is not doing a whole lot there. But obviously, he threw that down very quickly. He wanted it to defend the wood and the gold, so you can't really fault him for that. Crossbows, 1.5 minutes till Castle Age for Sebastian. Does Jordan have enough of a window here? 1 minute window in Castle Age to do anything? I don't think so. Buying back the stone is the worst scenario, by the way. That's such a big loss of resources.
Yeah, what is it? Like you're throwing away like 240 resources, something like that. Nearly quick math will surely not check out. And yeah, the tower, it's not helping that much. Archers can still be annoying.
Yeah, 1 vill goes down there. Obviously, Castle Age is in. What does Sebastian do? He just backs up for a little bit. He's probably going to run towards the corner, wait till his upgrades kick in as well. And Jordan, he's getting Castle Age. He has yet to get a single upgrade. He's selling his wood. He's getting the eagle upgrade. Still no +2 armor, though, so these eagles aren't very spectacular. Looking like Sebastian's in the in the driver's seat. Sebastian also sold his stone. He's now adding a second stable. 2 range, 2 stable. Nili, who taught you this build of reverse mezzo?
You did, and I still lose with it.
Yeah, unfortunately, but it is a good builder, Nili, and unfortunately...
I showed MBL exactly me Britons against Mezzo. I played double stable, double archer range, and he said, like, why aren't you going longswords? It's so much better. And I didn't want to rat you out that you told me to play it like that.
You just said, oh, I don't know, I never thought of longswords.
I thought it was good. Potato, he said.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. Longswords are an interesting approach, but that's more MBL style because that's a passive defensive approach. Oh, not passive. That's a defensive approach.
Aha.
Yeah,
I was questioning.
There's a difference. But yeah, I don't know. I like the knights and the crossbows because that lets you just kill mezzo. Like right now, Jordan has the eagles to counter the archers, but with just a few knights in front of those archers, it becomes a very deadly force. And you cannot switch to any unit to counter double gold and Castle Age. There's no one unit that counters this, so... you have some options with guard tower and stuff, but...
barracks for Jordan. his gold at the bottom. Really bad. Gold at the top, obviously relatively exposed then. And army's getting really scary. Look at that army value. 2.5x.
Yeah, and it's all coming towards Jordan. Like, Sebastian's leaving nothing to defend his base besides a few reinforcements. Because, of course, he is fully walled. So that's the big idea here. 2 villas get sniped from over the wall from Jordan. Pretty sloppy from Jordan. You should know that this cross was coming, no? But it's obviously easier said than done. He can have appeared anywhere, right?
Yeah, it is tricky. And now he needs to run with the villagers at the bottom. That will be exposed again. Going for the market, actually not the worst idea. I think going for the gold feels very natural as well, though.
Yeah, I personally like to break the market here because I feel like as you're breaking the market, you're also amassing more knights. So you're not really wasting time. You're kind of just setting up your push to be stronger and stronger. But going for the gold here, going for the more direct approach. Jordan is there to defend with his eagles, though. Well played from Jordan here, just trying to hang on into this game. Goes to the bottom now, and Sebastian's chasing his wood line. Look at that.
Uh-oh. That house is not being built. Jordan drops off the wood, has to run again. Worker efficiency has to be so bad. Look at that. Jordan barely has income.
And finally plugs that gap ever so slightly here. Jordan is into Sebastian's base with some eagles on the bottom, though. Something to take a look at.
Sloppy.
Oh, small mistake there. Big mistake.
Let's see how many villagers he's going to lose. 1 for now. Feels like 2, maybe 3. And Jordan, obviously really distracted, runs into the town center. Will lose some HP himself. Gold won't get distracted. Not the biggest loss.
Now has to react to these eagles. It's still what Jordan wants, obviously. Like, Jordan's not going to win this game by just playing like standard from home. He needs to make something happen, and I like that he's going for those big raids. Great reaction from Sebastian, though. But look at that. Sebastian runs out of gold and now looking for another one. 20 vills just going idle on the gold. I hate that. He needs to try to transition a little bit smoother.
Oh, I think this could be a big fight upon us. 23 eagles, some of them at the other side. Oh, and back to work by Sebastian. Once clicked there, his villagers are running into the eagles again, meaning that the force at the center looks really good for Sebastian, though.
And no ballistics in right now for Sebastian, but still has a ton of crossbows here. Jordan not eager to fight this one. He's still massing his eagles, still waiting for the perfect engagement. Jordan has moved his lumber camp about 4 times this game, by the way. He's moved to a different woodline, so economy for Jordan in terms of efficiency, not very good. Eco KD, 7 to 5 for Sebastian, so pretty relatively even there, but looking for more picks now is our yellow player.
Jordan out of gold income. Now runs to the front, and this is so exposed. Oh god,
Oh my
one
God.
knight alone could block this. Knights are seeing the villager movements. Sebastian knows where he can attack next.
Yeah, this is huge. This is huge. Jordan is saying he's desperate at this point, and he needs to win the next fight, or else he's completely out of the game. That's what this forward gold is telling us right now. The thing is, Sebastian is out of position for the time being, so it's going to be 30 seconds before he gets back to the front. That's, of course, his next target. You can see his eyes locked on that as well. Jordan doesn't care to find out what happens. GG.
Ooh, we have a set on our hands. 2-2.
What did I say, bro? I was telling my chat yesterday. You know what my chat said yesterday? They said, oh, Sebastian did well, but he's going to get rolled by Jordan. I said, don't count him out. Don't count him out. It's 2-2 right now. It's literally a best of 3 on our hands. Jordan does have the home map next, but my god, is Sebastian making a name for himself regardless what happens here. Well played to the map. Game number 5 here, about to start, 10 seconds away. Jordan's home map, it's going to be Northern Isles, and this is a water map, but it actually plays like a very action-packed water map. It's really not your typical islands game that takes a long time to develop and ends up being only water most of the time. Hopping right in now, we're going to see Jordan playing in red as the Byzantines, and his opponent is going to be Sebastian, of course, playing in the yellow as Italians. Nili, what do you think of this map? I'm going to go ahead and introduce it real quick to the people who might not know about it. It's called Northern Isles. We see gold and stone in the center, and then we also see both players having their own island. But of course, starting with a transfer ship and starting in Feudal Age means that there's going to be a lot of crisscross here. Sorry, Nili, what do you think of the map for real this time?
I think it's arguably the best water map we ever had. Most of the time, water maps, you feel like, oh, it's always like ships against each other, fire galleys are nice to see, demos the only highlight. But this is so strategic in the sense that you start with a transporter, therefore land aggression is an option, plus you cannot wall to the edge. So therefore landings are easier, it's tougher to expand. We have the map control rewarder, which is the relic and the extra gold and stone in the center, plus gives you control to build a castle there. So passive play is getting punished. I think it's a brilliant, very strategic map.
Yeah, the thing is, like, this has all the factors that rewards aggression, and even still, we're seeing players opt to play for water control very often on this map. So it's not quite the kind of situation where everyone has to land. We're actually seeing Jordan here, typical defensive player, adds in 2 fishing ships. Look at this. He adds in 2 fishing ships to gain an advantage, and only now adds fire galleys to now defend or attack his opponents. Whereas Sebastian doesn't add a single fishing ship, goes right away for the fire galley. Interesting approach. Already seeing a difference.
And it's interesting that the Italian player isn't adding the fishing ships, but the Byzantine player. And now even if the landing is coming in, and if you snipe a villager, still Jordan added 2 fishing ships. He's ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And those 2 fishing ships are going to be working very efficiently on deep sea fish, of course. Let's see what Sebastian can do, though. He's got 2 archers. Notice he's not landing the villagers like we normally see. He's landing the military directly. Very interesting, but Jordan has the defensive rage. He saw this coming.
Oh, nice awareness there, and that's why you land with your scout, get the idea. Now traps his own villagers there against the archer, but mainly wants to be safe against the scout as well. And Jordan shouldn't lose too much. And now the beautiful thing is, the moment you clear up this army, you can basically counterattack from everywhere. Because you have the transporter, and you can instantly land through the center, and your opponent has to be so scared after they get cleared up.
Yep. Definitely agree with that. And Jordan, by the way, he's making a market. He's looking... where did he get the resources from, man? He's looking so close towards castle. Is that extra 2 fishing ships that are paying off here?
2 fishing ships are nice.
They are nice indeed.
Plus no scouts added. Sebastian has 4 scouts on an island map. Is this Vivi?
He's putting the pressure, man.
I'm not sure if I like this too much. It's just like it's so much macro that you have to do to like constantly basically have the ferry around to send the scouts over. I think it's too easy to defend. By the way.
It's one of my least favorite things to do in the game. Like transporting units over constantly, in my opinion, is like the most frustrating thing to do.
The relics in the corner for T90's 4 legs. No one wanted to bother with that.
Yeah.
No
just
one
Viper. Like Viper doesn't mind who do that all day, but no one else.
But
it's just so annoying.
Never in a close game. Only in games that he was ahead.
That's true.
It's just annoying.
It's so frustrating to do it, man. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's like the amount of actions it takes and the amount of like brain space it takes to go ahead and transport units. It just makes it feel very awkward. By the way, Sebastian clicked up only 20 seconds after Jordan, so he's doing quite alright for himself. But the water is questionable here. Jordan pushing in with 2 Byzantine fire. He will win the water fight here.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And this is like... I'm getting scared for Jordan now. Like, this is aggression in your face. Score is 2-2. You know that thousands of people are watching. More will watch in the main event. You know that you will go for the GL bootcamp. You want to have, like... Don't want to be the person that DauT looks at the whole time and saying, like, who is not a main event player here?
Yeah, definitely. And Nili, I would hate for anyone to have that kind of situation where they're not the main event player at the GL house. I can't imagine that. That sounds terrible. But Jordan, listen, man, I know the aggression can be scary, but he does have all the defensive tools he needs. He's got a good amount of units. He's also going Byzantine camels, which I think are, in my opinion, one of the MVP units of Empire Wars so far. I've seen them just absolutely destroying people. Wait, hold on. Sebastian lands some more archers, has a villager there as well, but Jordan takes the better engagement to start things off here.
Siege workshop, maybe? Monastery, maybe? I'm not even sure what you do with 1 villager landing.
Like, just continue the push, yeah. Like, monastery siege, something like that. Like, is it good? We're gonna see. Hold on, Jordan. Maybe a little bit too eager with the fight.
Upgrades kicking in any second, though.
He holds this, he doesn't have Bodkin yet, but he does have the crossbow attack. He does have a knight in there as well. What does Sebastian go for as the Italians with this villager forward? It's so awkward. He's constantly landing in 3-4 units at a time.
Yeah. Also, to me, it's shocking that Jordan never sent a fire galley in there.
Yeah, to stop those. Yeah, to stop those transports. Yeah, for sure.
And now another landing with 3 crossbows and 1 scout, exactly at the spot where Jordan already has the army. Okay, no, now he finally finds a different angle.
But like, if this fizzles out, if this attack fizzles out, Sebastian finds himself very far behind because Jordan already added the second town center. Jordan has the water control. So if Sebastian is losing, if he's losing this kind of forward pressure, it's going to be hard to find something to do afterwards. He sold his stone, so he's really invested into this.
Hera, I will teach you something. If you land with crossbows, put them into the transporter in no attack stance. So that once they get out, they don't auto-attack a building and give the warning to your opponent.
Ah, that's actually cool. I didn't know that. That's really sick. That's really sick. Any range unit. That's awesome, yeah. That's a really good tip, chat. So you land, you have them in no attack stance. Your opponent has a house nearby, but you're not shooting it because you watched Nili cast. And you got that wisdom.
Nice.
Amazing. Yeah. No, that's an unironically really good tip, though.
You can also make it into the round of 128 in qualification.
If you practice hard enough, I'm sure you can. Cross was landing for Jordan. Sebastian immediately leaves. Did he see that? What? He didn't even see that. How did he know?
Transporter or something?
No, I don't think he scouted it. I think he expected it to come in, but that was a crazy reaction there. And has his defensive archers though.
Maybe saw the transporter. Oof! One town center volley got 3 kills.
Yeah, that was crazy, but it's still pretty worth it for Jordan because he keeps Sebastian at his base. He's now trading versus a villager, a couple of archers. So don't think just because Jordan is losing his army that it's a bad idea to do something like this. You definitely get some value from it. And now he's gonna maybe bring in those 2 knights that are waiting to get ferried over. Transport goes down. Transports get wrecked by fire ships, by the way.
Yeah. Lots of small tickle damage there.
Wait, hold on. Sebastian's going fast in, bro.
Condo landing.
Condo landing? Arbless on the cards? It's not terrible. Fast fire ships might be okay as well. I don't hate it, but Jordan is looking like he's gonna have a castle very soon as well, though.
I think fast fires are giving you nothing.
Oh yeah. Not getting too much from it, eh?
What are you gaining? You're gaining a bit of center control that you can't use because you don't have the villager to get the center. You don't have the stone to build any castles, and Byzantine just sits on 3 TC and then overwhelms you in water 3 minutes later.
Yeah. It's also a cheap upgrade though, so just picking it up to snipe all the fish and gain water control and safely transports. I don't know. If you can afford it, it's not the worst. He is going for the War Galley upgrade, but ooh, got a nasty demo there. Because at the end of the day, Nili, if you don't have water control, you can't land anyways, right? So if you need to go fast fire ships, you need to go fast fire ships. There's nothing you can do about it.
Probably. It is cheap with the Italians as well to get all the upgrades.
Yeah. Super cheap.
It just feels like you're already 20 villagers behind, or 20 workers behind. And fire ships against fast fires are not the worst if you can have the way better economy.
Yeah, agreed. Especially Byzantine. Oh my god, look how fast those guys are shredding the fire system. Sebastian. This game's it already feels over. He's 20 fills behind. He's got no water control. The fast temp is doing nothing here. It feels like.
Yeah.
He's gonna sneaky transport on the bottom now. Maybe he makes 2 transports or just sends it back and forth a couple times. We'll see.
1 villager. We don't have careening, therefore only spot for 5 units there. There will be 1 villager. Only 2 dogs. I don't even see a water contest. And Jordan will be surprised by the imp. But if he looks at the score, you shouldn't be too scared.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing that comes as a shock, but then you just give it a bit more thought and you're totally fine. Jordan will also spot the landing right away. And I believe 2 knights should beat 4 crossbows. Taking a look at the upgrades. There is +1 armor here. Let's take a look at the fight. Yeah, it should be fine.
No real fights. Next landing attempt. And look at the resources. 2 on food. It's not like we can afford Bracer and Arbalest now heavily using the market to afford something, but that's it.
More crossbows land. Arbalest Bracer comes in. Nothing else, pretty much. You can't even get chemistry, so the siege workshops aren't doing a whole lot right now.
1 on food.
Yeah, 1 on food. I've seen Huang with more farms. Has 0 on food. It's over.
This can work if you're on stone and if you're Portuguese. And now add 2 Vitoria. That's something
true.
that Vinchester would play. Right? It's pretty similar in that sense. And then it can be ugly, and Jordan died to that. But with Italians, you actually need villagers to collect resources.
And it feels like Italians don't even want to play this fast sim style. Sure, they get Imperialists for cheaper, but you don't really gain a whole lot by getting you know, some landing and some arbalists. Like, that's not the style that Italians wants to play. Italians wants to dominate the water. Italians wants to get, you know, galleons out in the field. They want to get cheaper shipwright. That's what they want to do. Not this kind of you know, this kind of fast sim aggression. It's not what the Civ wants to do.
Arbalists, well, they're spending some time now killing fires, but Jordan doesn't care. Now add some farms, up to 1 farm. Builds a second one now. Third one in the queue.
Doubling and tripling his economy in a matter of moments here.
Ooh, horse color even.
Nice, this guy's really booming right now.
Bombard cannon.
I love the horse color. He's like, yeah, I need to invest into the late game right now.
Oh, you don't want to reseed those.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the score actually looks not that bad right now, but considering, you know, Jordan's up to Imperial Age, Jordan will be going for all kinds of things, both on land and water right now. He can do whatever he wants, really. Gonna be very rough.
And 3 watchtowers with ballistics. Like,
good watchtower defense, though. I actually really like that. I think guard towers can come out as well. It's a really good way to buy the time. Bombard cannon's finally out for Sebastian, so something to put the pressure here.
Still, every single arbalest you lose just feels so costly. Transporter lost as well.
My prediction is out the window. I said 4-2 Sebastian, but
this game is not over. Where's the hypecaster?
Yeah, that is true. That's the overhype caster right there.
Under hypecaster.
Under hype, okay.
That's typically my job.
Okay. So really, we're both two people fulfilling the same job right now. This is not very efficient work from us, I think.
Under hyping?
Yeah. We've got 2 under hype casters.
No.
You're the funny one, though, to be fair. So
I tell the story multiple times, but that's like, I'm typically the guy that used to call games too early, like lack excitement for games that are over, and then I had saw a game that was completely over, cast by T90 and Dave said, Tristan, just imagine the comeback and what a great story it would be. And suddenly people like envisioned that and got excited for the game again. That's a true skill.
Definitely, yeah. No, I agree with that. I will say sometimes there's more of a hype for the comeback, and sometimes there's less. But yeah, it's all about selling it to the viewers at the end of the day. Really, it's just, I feel like it's hard to do that as a competitive player, because at the end of the day, I see the game slightly differently. But it's hard to break that mentality going into the caster. But fair enough.
Okay, what's easier to sell? An AoE4 Sabaton or this game?
An AoE4 Sabathon, clearly.
Okay.
Yeah. That was actually fun. I enjoyed the AoE4 Sabathon. The community is really nice, actually. Obviously, the game kind of fell through for me. I ended up not liking it, but at the time, it was pretty fun for me, and the community was actually quite great.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to say that because you will meet them in Heidelberg.
No, the players I like in general, but even the viewers, I actually really like the AoE4 viewers as well. They were really cool. Nice. I think they got upset at me when I quit that other tournament midway, and I said that I don't like the game, but such is life, man.
Well, multiple people got upset about that.
Yeah. That's okay, though. It happens. I learned from my mistake and I move on. What can I do?
Okay, Bombard Cannon's actually finding some kills against the skirmishers here. Comeback setup is real. So many Arbalests lost, though, unnecessarily. It felt like this could easily be 20 Arbalests instead of 6. Like, 4 lost to the castle, 4 lost to the guard towers, some lost to the fire ships earlier as well. I think this push could actually have some threat with it.
And the bombard cannons, once they're mastered, are actually quite deadly. We're going to see fast fire ships and arbalest now from Jordan. So he's looking to defend both on lands and water and take a lead in one or the other. Because if you win the water here and you just have a few fast fire ships patrolling, you don't let Sebastian transport units constantly. Like, Jordan should be denying this.
Yeah, absolutely shocking. Phew. Bombard cannons, absolutely imbalanced unit. Luckily, we don't get an upgrade for that one.
That would be crazy, Nili. I don't think anyone would implement that into the game.
Oh, you mean something with more HP, more base damage, more splash radius?
I think the other things are fine, but splash radius feels too strong. No way we'd get that.
Okay. Well, if we give it to any civilization, they surely shouldn't get any eco bonuses like faster moving villagers or faster gold and stone collection.
Yeah, no, it definitely wouldn't be all in one civ. That's ridiculous now.
Yeah, but if you give it to them, then it's okay. Maybe only give them spearmen and no pikemen, so that you can counter them with cavalry.
That does make sense, but here's a better idea. What if we just give them extra strong halberdier?
Halberdier?
You heard me right, but hold on. Let me finish the idea. You charge people $10 to pick them up, and then you have a really nice business model.
Nice.
Yeah. We can make a profit. We can make a killing, you and I, Nili.
Nice.
Big shots on the gold here from Sebastian, dude. He's making something out of nothing right now. Hold on, this game is actually not over. We talked about hype gassing, but hold on. This game is legit not over because although things are looking really weird, he's got a little bit of a snowbally push here, and Jordan's kind of, is it panicking or underreacting? I'm not sure what's the right word here, but the cannons are strong here, man.
I don't know what happens. I didn't move my mouse for the last 10 minutes. I'm only looking at those bombard cannons here.
Big shots.
Sick. Jordan should just go for some bombards himself. Such an easy answer.
He didn't have chemistry until a moment ago. Now getting some bomber cannons himself. Italians don't get siege engineers, by the way, so...
Big shots against the wills at the side. All of a sudden, Sebastian has better eco KD.
A much better eco KD here, and his push is still alive. Problem for him though is that now Jordan has the fast fire ships, and now he's starting to cut off the transport line that Sebastian was playing off of now. So the arbalests are getting thinned out, and although the cannons are strong, if it's just cannons, arbalests up close will take care of them. In comes Jordan here. And the GG is finally called there. Sebastian, good fight from him, honestly. Good fight, well played from him to try to make something happen from a tough situation. But overall, guys, good hold from Jordan. He's moving on to match point 3-2 now from Jordan on his home map. And it feels like Sebastian getting outclassed strategically on the bit of a weird maps, only shining, it seems, on the aggressive maps. And that's the big problem here.
And he was getting quite some aggression here as well. Maybe something like land with archers and have a stable on the other side, or the other way around. Could have been an option, like stable at home, try to land with that, then archer range landing. I think that could have suited his style a bit more, because he needs to micro, and this transporting is just so macro intense that your micro will be slipping.
Really good way to put it, yeah. You have to micro fight, but then you don't have the APM to micro because you're constantly transporting, and then you lose out on so much potential there. Well put there. And look at the resource difference, guys. 13,000 more resources for Jordan, wood, food, and stone, and more for him in the bank. And if you take a look at the Vil count, of course, 97 Vil high for Jordan, 56 only for Sebastian. He did have Horsecaller Nili, who was looking like he was coming back into the game with the economy, but didn't have the time.
He was ready for the late game, even if we were not.
Looking on to the next game, it's going to be Sebastian's home map. And it's going to be the Bull. Actually, they already started. Jordan, there's a lot of truth to what you said. He is crazy, man.
And, well, I'm looking at a horrible archer range by Sebastian. And Jordan got his one up pretty soon as well. We're going for the early fletching here for our Bulgarian player. No man-at-arm opening. So will be archer skirm, most likely, and Jordan with lots of walls already.
Yeah, it's going to be Bulgarians, Hindustani here. The map is the Bull. For those who don't know what the map is looking like, there is, it obviously looks like a bull on the mini-map, but there's a little bit of water on both sides, on the right and left, that the players tend to go for a dock on. And then in the center, of course, very close quarter fights. But the main idea, though, is the middle of the map filled with stone and gold that the players have to chop through to get to, or go around. They've got one opening on each side to find a passage to the center. So
archer trapped. That's what I said with what a bad archer range there by Sebastian.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Unfortunate. Oh, that hurts so much on Empire Wars, actually. That basically stops his entire opening aggression. So now he's forced to just wall up and chill till mid-late game because, yeah, there's no aggression to be had now.
Okay, something I have to say that made me unreasonably angry yesterday.
Okay.
We're casting a tournament called Red Bull Wololo. It says in my title description, Red Bull Wololo. It says at the top in the scoreboard, Red Bull Wololo. The map name at the bottom says the Bull. Someone in Twitch chat yesterday shows up and asks, "What's up with the cow head?"
Oh my. Okay. Yeah, I can imagine you. I can imagine you specifically getting mad at that.
Let's just rename the map. Red Bull Wololo, the cow.
The cow. I actually like it though. I think the irony in that is much more funny than having the bull as the map, to be honest. Like, that's good stuff.
Jordy, active villagers. 2 archers to the bottom as well. And yeah, just like Sebastian, what's his follow-up? Sends 2 archers to the center as well. Jordan, earlier, is he going through and tries to build the dock, or is he warding this one off? Goes for the walls.
Oh, it looks like he's going to go for the walls. I like that better than the sneak dock, because the sneak dock is very risky, whereas the walls here, there's almost no risk to it. Assuming you get your build to this position, you just drop the walls, no more risk has to be taken.
Stable?
What?
Jordan built a stable in no man's land.
That's not terrible. I think his idea is he wants to get some stable units to control. He wants to wall in Sebastian now, I believe, and he wants the stable to gain control of the outside. Maybe even could snipe some of the fish as well. I don't think that's terrible, actually. It is unorthodox, but it's not terrible.
We have a stable on the other side by Sebastian as well. Sick.
I don't know what it is with these. Like they both have the same opening. They're sending 2 archers on the outside as well. They're doing the exact same thing, but this is not something I've seen at any point in other games. So very interesting stuff there.
Neither have I. This typically is like the rush to Castle Age after both players are walled up. And they actually both go stable. Jordan now goes to Castle Age. Would love to see him wall behind the stable still. But this will be a lot of control on who chops out faster. And as you can see, both players microed their villagers. 9 villagers versus 9 villagers to go get out of there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who ends up actually benefiting from this kind of early game play. It seems like Jordan has the better setup, but Sebastian breaks through the gate here, kills a villager, and now can kill the archers from Jordan. So, like, had Jordan got the walls up, he would have the better setup, but since he didn't, now he's got the worst setup. It's kind of crazy how that worked out.
Just needed to wall the outside there, and then the scouts couldn't come in. He could build some scout numbers. Now might lose his archers here as well. Those already are forging, the scouts. Oh.
Sebastian is almost feels like he's investing too much into feudal age, though. Yeah, he gets the market now, buys his way up. It's very much needed. You don't want to stay too long in feudal age here because Castle Age unlocks so much in terms of siege and potential military. Jordan running away with his archers right now. Does he care about those? It looks like he's switching into knights, or sorry, into camels, excuse me. He's Hindustani come Castle Age, but he is making more archers nonetheless, though. Maybe a mix of those.
Interesting choice. Tries to snipe those scouts here? What's happening? Also, I'm surprised that Sebastian didn't commit against the archers here. Only now he does.
Engagement eventually, though. And honestly, I think he doesn't have to run. He can probably stay here because there's only camels coming out. Camels are pretty easy to kill if you've got a few archers.
What is that siege workshop for Jordan?
I mean, he wants to get a scorpion to cut out. He just wants to cut out at this point.
But aren't 2 camels clearing up that army? And then he can chop out anyways? It's only 2 archers. You shouldn't be that scared.
Yeah, probably. I think probably 3 camels 100% cleans it. 2 might even just be enough. Let's see how the 2 camels fare here.
Just need to focus on the archers, and then he can just continue shopping. Scorpion shot. Misses. Okay,
but the Scorpion's going to be okay in general, though, because the Scorpion lets you then harass the other guys would. I don't hate the Siege Workshop. By the way, Town Center up top from Jordan is something we didn't talk about, but there's a lot of fish up top, a lot of shore fish. Some people love it, some people don't care about it. I mean, I'm not sure where I stand on it personally.
I think once we saw all the aggression at the bottom and the opponent didn't chop out yet, at the top makes lots of sense. Because they need to focus on the bottom first.
Yeah, and then at the top you get free, very fast food source, which is that's incredibly valuable, especially when you have a town center on it. It's well defended, nothing wrong with that. Pikeman now coming in from Sebastian. I almost feel like he's in a situation that he doesn't want to be in, where he's forced to make pikemen early on here.
By the way, Scout cleared up the left-hand side pawns completely. What?
I called that earlier. Some scouts to kill the fishing ships. I said it was an amazing idea. I think that was the starting scout, crazy enough for Jordan. That's a huge advantage. Sebastian was not paying attention to that.
Now Jordan is trying to re-wall. Chop through still takes some time. Ay. Sebastian getting harassed at his gold as well. Oh, not a pretty game.
Pike Siege though, hold on. Pike Siege can be a very snowbally setup, especially with Bulgarians. We have a few knights behind it. I think maybe Sebastian should turn his attention towards the main base now. Just push Nili on the main base and look to chop out himself slowly here. Because now the crossbows are coming in and Jordan's going to prevent the chop out here. So yeah, Sebastian has to fight on the main base now. It's the only choice.
Sent the Mangonel to clear up the 2 crossbow instead of getting to the wood line. Oh, that's so good for Jordan.
So he killed the lake. He prevented the chop out. He now got the stone walls on the bottom. Jordan has full control of this game. Sebastian has one last chance to push down the center. If he can't make something happen in the next few minutes, then it's looking very rough for him. Jordan also pulling ahead in terms of villagers.
Oh, Mangonel shot is solid. By the way, 6 military upgrades for Bulgarians, not a single eco upgrade. Jordan, I would love to see maybe even a villager invested and try to block off with some stone walls.
Yep, yeah, just secure that chop off not coming in. I do like that. Knights now going out from the front from Sebastian. He's actually going around the outside with 5-6 villagers now. You've got nowhere to go though. Where's he going?
Deer.
He's going onto the deer? Okay.
Oh, Twitch chat. It's not deer, it's an ostrich.
Yeah, I've heard that all too many times. I'm basically immune to it, by the way, at this point.
I'm not.
No, he still bothers you, eh? Yeah, I mean, triggered. You get mad when someone calls this map a cow, so that's fair enough.
It's Red Bull Wololo.
6 pikemen now. Finally, Sebastian managed to break out, and he actually snipes the Mangonel right away. Sebastian maybe giving himself a fighting chance here by breaking out now.
14 on stone for Jordan. Castle, Gulam play. And then good luck trying to make something happen with the spike push.
It is a knight push though at the end of the day, right? It's not exactly a pike push. It is a knight push right now. Only a few pikemen in there to deal with the camels. But I do prefer crossbow camel overall because two melee units are generally speaking very awkward. Mangonel coming forward now from Sebastian. See what he can do. Castle coming down from Jordan. If Jordan gets this castle up, the push fails.
Push at the top at the same time though. Could be quite some dead villagers. Jordan keeps reducing from there.
So getting thrown down 70% now on that one. Sebastian sees it. He's just gonna have to back off. He cannot push from there. That's a heartbreaking sight, by the way. Seeing a castle go up for your opponent is actually just terrible when you're trying to push.
Goes on to stone himself now. Krepus, I don't really think any good positionings could be there. Camel lost at the top. And Sebastian just takes this area, but doesn't mean he will get a good grab of the bullhead.
Of the cowhead? Okay, I'm sorry.
Bullhead!
That is the last one. Yeah, big thing for Sebastian at least, you know, although he is far behind, at least he has a chance to play the game, you know what I mean? Like he's cut through, he's on the stone. The push at the top almost feels like it needs to work now though, because if he can manage that, he can kill a lot of villagers, keep Jordan in the castle age. He's now going for a town center up top himself.
Yeah, Jordan only has 7 farms. Some fishing ships, okay-ish. But yeah, Furiga won't be pretty if everything dies at the top.
And at the very least, he's going to be forced away. But hold on, Jordan sending his camels back. Sebastian, this is the problem with the decision making. His army is not in the right place right now. He's trying to do something at the bottom, but he doesn't need to be there. There's nothing to be done at the bottom. He needs to be at the top right now, forcing engagements with all his army. Since he's not doing that, Jordan's the guy winning the fights at the top.
Jordan has enough stone for a castle. Builds it at the top. Oh, beautiful.
Look how punishing this game is, man. Look how Sebastian he messed up. Just wrong place at the wrong time with his army. He could have been here 2 minutes early with all his army pushing the town center. He didn't think of that, and now Jordan has full control of the top, can continue to take the fish, and now will kill Sebastian's town center. Huge play from Jordan, not the Jordan.
Did MBL rename himself the MBL to be more successful in tournaments?
Yeah. How did that work out, by the way? Did it work? I don't know.
Let me quickly remember last MBL's tournament victory.
Victory? I don't think that happened.
Battle of Africa.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, that one happened. Yeah. And, yeah, that was, of course, a team effort as well. So, congrats to the entire team. Big Magno shot there for Sebastian.
I'm looking at the DauT crappers at the bottom, my friend.
Oh, no. Not another one, man. How many have we seen today from these up-and-comers, man? These... yeah, this is the impact that DauT has had over the community, man. This is literally what's happened. All of those are dead. He didn't garrison a single one.
Trade card! Disrespect!
Why?
Nili for Krasini, please. Nili for Krasini. Disrespect in game 6. Red Bull qualifier. Krasini, please.
The trade card goes down. Oh my god, it didn't pay off there. Surprising to see that.
Wow. I always thought highly of Jordan.
Yeah, I can just imagine him smiling. We've always known him to be smiling during games, but now we can tell it was an evil smile at the end of the day here.
It's like opponents trying to play his very best, and Jordan just like, I can even build units that aren't even capable of fighting and still beat you.
Yep, goes to the trade cards. Oh, sends the villagers forward now? Oh no, Magno trades though. Wait, what? 2 Magnos on the same tile, one dies, one on 1 HP. What's going on here?
GG.
Well played. Look at Sebastian. Despite getting blatantly disrespected there by the trade card, still says the well played. That's the sportsmanship we like to see here.
Better than Jordan for sure. And Jordan is going to Heidelberg. The big upset that he didn't have a crazy performance in the first qualification round, but now he can redeem himself. Congrats to him. A great addition for the main event.
Yeah, clap in the chat, boys, for Jordan making it to the $200,000 tournament. Second LAN event for him. He was, of course, present at the first one. Did pretty well. I think he got the semifinals or something crazy like that. So well played to him. Yeah. And Sebastian, also congratulations to him. 3 over DauT over in the semifinals or in the last round. And now 4-2 against Jordan, guys. Not a lot of people that can say they took 2 games off Jordan at such a big stage. So big things coming for Sebastian, I'm sure. Congrats to him as well. And well played to both these players. Yeah, I think on to the interview now.
Yep. Well, we can jump.
Yep.
Oh, it's tricky that I always have to do the interviews and I never really get time to rest. So I will jump into the next first game a bit later. Jordy boy!
Oh.
Congratulations, my man. This has to be good for you. You really felt the pressure, right?
Yeah. Playing the qualifiers is the worst thing. It's so tough. The players have improved so much, and yeah, if you do 1-2 mistakes, you're out. It's crazy. Very relieved now.
Yeah, I can understand that. Maybe we go back to the start of the story. Last weekend's qualifier, you were already really motivated, and then surprisingly out in the round of 64. How was that for you, and how did you try to deal with that?
Yeah, that was a big surprise. I think I didn't play as good as I could, and Genji completely wrecked me there, playing beautifully. And yeah, I just didn't know what to expect from him. but yeah, he's a very aggressive player, and that caught me off guard. And then he kicked me out very easily, so to say. And I was extremely disappointed, obviously, because I had high ambitions. And then I obviously, after one day, I was like, okay, I have to qualify now for this weekend. And I 100% fully focused, not doing anything except playing Age of Empires. And also preparing myself mentally, practicing a lot, and it worked out.
Okay, nice. And then you saw the bracket and probably expected something like facing DauT, and then suddenly you come up against Sebastian. How big of a surprise was that, and did you adjust anything?
I was extremely surprised because obviously, as you mentioned, DauT was the person I was expecting to face if everything goes well on my side. And then Sebastian just completely wrecked him 3-0. And I was like, wow, what's going on here? Because I have never played Sebastian myself. I know that he has been extremely good recently, especially. And he's improving more and more. So I knew it's definitely a person to watch out for. But him beating DauT 3-0, it's great for him, obviously. And I made adjustments, obviously. I had to analyze Sebastian. I have never seen him play before, so...
Oh, what were your takeaways? That's interesting.
That he's an extremely aggressive player. Kind of similar to Ganji to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore I had to adjust, obviously. Like, for example, the Frigid Lake game. He completely wrecked me there, right? It's really, really tough against him.
Okay, and then we went into Arabia as game 1. And it was students against Franks. A matchup that we don't see too often, but it felt like you were playing it very defensively with the tower, later archer range. How confident did you feel going into the late game?
Students is better than Franks, in my opinion, in late game. So I knew I just had to survive and drag the game on until I have a good economy for the later stages. And I think I was successful in doing that, but then his forward castle came. I was like, oh no. That was good timing for him because I needed around 30 seconds more to get really production going. And then he would not have been able to do so. So that was really, really risky. And in the past, I would have taken the fights. Then with my knights, I would have lost. And then I would have lost the game. But I said, okay, I cannot prevent the castle from going up. I have to go back and just play it a bit differently. But Teutons, I think, is just a good civ against Franks.
Probably. Then we go into, I think, was it Frigid Lake to begin with? I think so, right? And you basically analyzed, okay, I had unfortunate loss against Ganji there on Frigid Lake. Now I know that I play against a similar player. What was your game plan going into Frigid Lake?
Well, with Chimera, obviously, you have a bit of a stronger opening because of the economy. So I was not too scared there. With the Byzantines game, against Ganji, I was playing extremely defensive, and he caught me off guard completely. So I was like, okay, I'm Chimera, I'm fine. And after 1 minute into game, I was like, I'm not fine anymore. That was the fastest Frigid Lake game I've played so far, I think.
Okay, that indeed was a fast one. You got overwhelmed there. Felt like the scout maybe a bit out of position.
Exactly. Yeah. They lost me the game there.
We got into another win for you, Outcrop, with Cumans, double archer range. Like, Hera and I were scratching our heads. Like, how do you try to play against Cumans if your opponent was doing the same to you?
You're saying, okay, I think what he was doing is the right approach. To completely all in, go Castle Age as soon as possible, and then Siege Monk pressure. But I was able to defend that because I scouted the market and I scouted the stable obviously as well. And then I was like, okay, it's an all-in is coming, right? So I just had to play defensively and just wait until he attacks and just gather the army I need to defend.
Yeah, and you did that. Were you at any point concerned that you would lack gold control?
Yes, for sure. That's why I had to expand to the top, and I was able to do so. And once I got the TC up, I was completely fine. And I always kept track of his knights, so I knew that he's not going to go to the top. So I was safe there. He had a knight there, very smartly placed, very good by him. But yeah, he was not able to deny the TC. And once I had the third TC up, I was like, okay, this is a 100% winning position now for me.
Northern Isles game was a pretty wild one. How did you read the game, and were you surprised at all by his imp timing?
I was, well, obviously surprised, but seeing that imp timing, I was like, okay, this must be 1 TC, 100%. And I thought he would go water, and him going for land kind of surprised me. And it was dicey. It was very dicey because he has done a great job with the bomber cannon micro. And my skirms and arbalests, they didn't really cut it too well. But I guess overall I just won because of the superior economy.
Nice. Okay, going to play the $200,000 tournament. What are you most looking forward to?
Just for me personally, being in Heidelberg last year was by far the best experience I've ever had in terms of Age of Empires 2 related. And having that experience once more is going to be so good. I'm really looking forward to meeting all the players again. A few new faces are going to be there as well. And yeah, it's just, I know that Red Bull is going to do an amazing job with the organization, just like last year. And yeah, that's just the environment.
Thank you so much. And I think you will be a great addition for the main event. What's your goal?
Top 8.
Okay. Question from Nova. Does Jordan feel he's playing the best he's ever played? Also, any words for his opponent? Sebastian has been a revelation this weekend, like Ganji last one.
I think right now I'm not playing the best I've ever played. I think there are certain things which are missing, which I had in the past, so I have to work on that. And Sebastian, yeah, just a phenomenal player, very aggressive and very calculated, very good micro. So overall, a very well-rounded player. I think it doesn't take too much time for him anymore if he grinds on to get the top 10 spots for sure in the future tournaments.
That high. Sick.
And gotta say, like, you can always feel how players are acting, and from what we have interacted so far, it feels like he's an extremely sympathetic guy. So very nice.
Nice. Question from Drunter. Like, you had so much pressure on you, like not qualifying last weekend, going into this one, now you're in the final. How was your mental state after it was even at 2-2?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, I didn't feel any pressure or in that regard, because I was like, okay, I just have to play my game and then I'm going to be happy. It's just more the qualifiers themselves. They put so much stress to somebody, right? It's just very tough because there's so many good players still who haven't qualified yet. And you know exactly if something goes wrong in a best of 3, for example, it's just, you're out. So that's very tough. And yeah, just being 2-2, I was like, okay, if I win Northern Islands, I should be fine.
Interesting. Jordi, GG, well played. See you in Heidelberg.
Thank you so much. See you, Nili. And everyone else.
Hello, Jordan.
Hera!
Hello. It's my turn.
Hera!
Hello.
Yeah, let's go.
Congrats, man. I can't wait to see you
Thank
again,
you. Bro. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, don't make a trade card against me though, please.
Yeah, what the hell was that, Jordan?
I
You
was
didn't even
like,
apologize for it, bro. I expected like a paragraph of apologies from you.
dude, I was supposed to build a mangonel, but it was the trade card. I was like, where's my Magnet? Then I see the freaking trade card.
It's a good feeling anyway when you can make a trade card and still win, dude. It's a good feeling. Congrats.
You take those when you get them. GG's, bro.
Yeah.
GG's.
Yeah.
Alright, take care, guys. Peace.
Okay. See you guys. Bye bye. Enjoy.
Bye.
See ya.